Just going to say grown-ups. How many of you are having a good time at Big Camp? Awesome! I knew I was going to get some crowd participation. Alrighty. Now, I have a story today, and it's got 3 parts to it. So I want you to concentrate on all 3 parts. Who has ever played in a competitive team sport? Yeah, I see a couple down here. Alrighty. There's a lot of training, there's a lot of strength, there's a lot of fitness and stuff like that. You know, when I was in high school, I did a competitive sport as well. And you know what? I actually made it to the Darling Downs team. Who knows what the Darling Downs team is? Maybe you know it as the Moreton Bay region team or the Gold Coast team. It's your regional level team. I actually made it. I trained hard and I worked on my skills and my fitness and I got there. 3 years running, I got to the Darling Downs team. But do you know what the best part was? I knew that after that competition, there was going to be a chance for me to compete for the state team. I could get a chance to be on the Queensland team. Who's ever done that sort of thing? Grown-ups, you ever been there? Worked hard, all that sort of stuff, did the strength training, went to the squat rack, made your legs really strong, worked on your technique. But do you know what? For 3 years running, I missed it by that much. That much. Year 10, year 11, year 12. I got to that point of competing at state level and I wasn't good enough. It's a bit rough. But then I moved out of high school and I moved on to bigger and better things and I left competitive sport behind. But that's okay. Who's ever heard of Stormco? I've seen the Stormco shirts around at camp. Who's been involved with that? Anybody out there been involved with Stormco, some of the grown-ups? I met my wife on Stormco. It's awesome. It really is. She probably doesn't like me admitting that, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Stormco is really cool. I went on a Stormco trip when I was about 19 or 20. I can't remember the exact year. And part of what we do at Stormco is community service. Who knows what community service is, kids? Yeah, it's where you go out and help people, isn't it? It's where you go out and help people. I volunteered for the wood cutting. Okay, I got to use my strength from year 12. I was strong and I got to use my strength to help cut timber. I should step away from these speakers, shouldn't I? They're a bit echoey. There was a guy out there. He was helping us with the community service. And let's just say that he was repaying his debt to society. Grown-ups, you know what that means? Yeah? Let's just say it wasn't for the first or the second time either. Okay? He was repaying a debt. I was doing it voluntarily as part of our Stormco team. He was repaying a debt. And he was working hard at it, and he knew that he had to do this every day. Now, at the end of the week, we've been in this town. We're all wearing the same shirt. We all look the part of a team. This guy, I'm going to call him Steve because I can't remember his name. He was there because he had to be. But at the end of the week, when we finally put down our axes for the last time and our saws for the last time, we said, Steve, we want to do something for you. I want to give you a shirt that says you're part of our community. Now, up until that time, I'd never seen anybody with a spring in their step. Who knows what that is? It's someone who's really, really happy because he knew that he did nothing to earn that shirt. Absolutely nothing to earn that shirt. He was spending those days every day cutting wood, doing his community service. But he couldn't earn that shirt. We gave it to him. We said, we want you to be part of our community. And from that day, he walked with a spring in his step. Now, the last part of my story tonight, there's a really short guy in the New Testament, which nobody really liked. Does anybody have any idea who this guy might have been? I'm going to ask over here. Ewan. Zacchaeus. Oh, right. You've been listening in school, haven't you? Zacchaeus. Nobody liked Zacchaeus because he was a tax collector. Anybody know what that is? Yeah? Someone who collects all your tax money. He used to sit at the front gate of the city and he'd say, right, you're coming into our town, you need to pay your taxes. Now we're going to say, you're a pretty rich man. I'm going to charge you $50. $50 is going to go in there for the city, but I'm going to charge you an extra 10 just because I don't like you. You're very much more handsome than I am, so I'm going to take $50 off you plus 10 for me. And nobody really liked this guy Zacchaeus because he actually made himself rich on the ill will of other people, on the backs of the Romans. And he heard that Jesus was coming one day. And he also knew that because he was short, he was going to have a hard time getting in there. He also knew it was going to be doubly hard to get into this group because always there was a huge crowd of people, a lot like there are at Big Camp. Always a big crowd of people around Jesus. And they all wanted to see Jesus. Zacchaeus wanted to see Jesus. So he thought about this and he tried and he thought, there's no way I'm going to get into that crowd. Nobody's going to let me. There's nothing I can do to push my way through. Everybody's going to push me away. I can't earn my way in there. So I'm going to climb a tree. He climbed a tree near the roadside. And when he was up there, most of the people were looking at Jesus and they were following him. Most of them, there would have been a lot of people walking backwards, going, where's Jesus? The crowd's moving this way. Jesus got to that tree. And who was in the tree, kids? Zacchaeus, that's right, you were listening. That's excellent. He was looking down, hoping to see Jesus. And he was probably up in a very, very big tree. The Bible says a sycamore tree. I don't know what that looks like. Haven't seen one of those before. But there was a lot of leaves, I'm sure. And he was hiding up there. And Jesus got to that point where he stopped. And everybody just got so quiet because Jesus stopped in the middle of the road under a tree for no other reason than to look up and say, hey, Zacchaeus, get down out of the tree. Why did Zacchaeus have to get down out of the tree? Because Jesus was going to his house for dinner. Who goes to your house for dinner? Random strangers or your best friend? Your best friend. That's right. Jesus wanted Zacchaeus to be his best friend. Do you know, out of all these stories, there are three people, myself, Steve, and Zacchaeus. We all tried to earn our way somewhere, and we couldn't do it. But do you know the best part about it? Jesus wants to be our best friend. He wants us to be part of his community. And just like Steve, when he got given that shirt, I reckon when we realize that Jesus wants to be in our community and he wants us to be part of his community, we will feel just as happy as Steve did. We will feel elated. And just like Zacchaeus, we'll want to do good things for everybody else and tell everybody else about how good a friend Jesus is to us. Do you guys reckon you can tell kids, anybody else about Jesus? Your friends at school? Grown-ups, do you reckon you can tell anybody else about Jesus? Are you serious? Are you all asleep out there? Grown-ups, do you think you can tell anybody about Jesus? Yes. Kids, do you think you can tell anybody about Jesus? Yes. Awesome. Thank you very much for listening to my story. Please remember that this week. We're going to learn a lot of ways to talk to each other about Jesus and especially about our friends. So thank you very much. Please go off quietly back to your parents.